Welcome back to Broken Electronics. I'm Lee, and I am so very glad you could take time out of your busy day to spend a little bit with me on the project we have going for today's video. Now, I thought long and hard about this, and my main question was, what does YouTube's tech video community really need in terms of content now? And the answer was obvious. Why, more videos about the M4 Mac Mini, of course. Yes, it's an overdone topic, but it's what people are doing. The last video, in fact, I unboxed the Mini and some of the input devices that I got to go along into that. I now have the Mini set up here in Studio B, and in today's video, I want to basically give an overview, a look at how it's set up, and there is some definite retro content in that for all of my retro fans out there, like I have lots of fans, for all of the retro people who occasionally glance at these videos. And we'll make points of that and how the older technology fits in so nicely with this brand new machine. And then a little bit of a look at the desktop and how things are set up with the machine running, what the storage choices I've made have been, etc. So if you're interested in finding out more about all of this, please stay tuned. Okay, we're going to start out with a look underneath and see some of the attached storage here. Here we have an OWC Thunder Bay Mini. Inside it are four 2 terabyte 2.5-inch SATA SSDs. So we have a total of 8 terabytes of storage. Here we have the OWC Thunder Bay, the big brother to the Mini. In this we have 4 SATA spinning hard drives, each 4 gigabytes, so we have a total of 16 gigabytes of storage. And you see this spinning light. I don't know if that's coming through in the camera or not, but it's flashing away like crazy. That is a LaCie external drive with 3 terabyte spinning hard drive. It's currently backing up the machine. That is the Time Machine drive. All right. Now, the interesting thing about these is that these are all Thunderbolt 2 devices. I got them originally to go with the 6.1 Mac Pro, which unfortunately, while it ran really nicely up through Monterey, when I upgraded it to Sonoma, it just couldn't cut it. And I found the same exact thing with Sequoia. Now, use cases may vary, but that's what I found. All 3 of these devices are daisy-chained, as you can daisy-chain Thunderbolt devices, and they are all connected with the Apple Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 3 adapter, which works very, very well, even connecting into Thunderbolt 3, 4, and even 5 devices. Okay, we shall see a bit as to how those are connected, but I want to take a look now a little bit higher, maybe at the monitor set up at the top of the desktop. Please stay tuned. So we now see more of the retro content. The monitor that's the camera is focused on right now is the 2011 Apple Thunderbolt LED display. This is a Thunderbolt 2 device that was Apple's main monitor for about 5 years, I think. It was superseded in 2016 by a third-party solution. Secondary display is a bit older than that. This is the 2008 Apple LED Cinema Display HD, the 24-inch version, which was current from 2008 to 2010. As I said, both of these can connect to the Mac Mini, and we'll show you in a bit exactly how that's done. All right. This is Thunderbolt 2 device. It connects, of course, via Thunderbolt 2. This connects via the identical looking jack, the mini display port. All right, now some other things here on the desktop. Focus in a little bit more. There you see the star of the show back there, the M4 Pro Mac Mini. Sitting on top of it is a drive in a Thunderbolt 5 enclosure. And since they're lying here, I will show them to you. These were my Christmas presents. My daughter gave me two of them. One was an 1861 US $1 gold coin. You can see it's very small there. She selected 1861 because that's when the Civil War began. She knows of my great interest in the Civil War. She also knows of and shares in my great interest in hockey. So she gave me a Vegas Golden Knights game-used puck, which was used to score a goal by my favorite player, William Karlsson. All right. That has nothing to do whatsoever with the Mac Mini, but I'm very proud of them, so I thought I would share. All right, now we're going to take a look at what's underneath this. So once again, please stay tuned. Okay, and here we see what's sitting under the top level of the desk. First of all, you've already seen the new version of the Apple Magic Keyboard, smaller version. The new version of the Apple Trackpad, the Magic Trackpad, which is outstanding. And the new version of the Apple Mouse. Now, the only thing that's new about these are the fact that they charge by USB-C. This is why there's a USB-C charge cord sitting here connected to the dock. Now, I've got two different connections going on here. The M4 Pro Mac Mini, of course, has 3 Thunderbolt 5 ports. There are not a lot of Thunderbolt 5 devices. What I have done is to connect the OWC Thunderbolt 4 hub, which connects to the computer, of course, and allows 3 pass-through Thunderbolt 4 ports. And there's also, very conveniently on the front here, a USB 3.2A connector. Since the Mac Mini has none of those. Now, underneath it is an older device. It's the old OWC 14-in-1 Thunderbolt 3 dock. This has a pass-through. You connect it to the machine, of course, by one of the Thunderbolt ports, and it passes through a Thunderbolt 3 port on the back. And it gives you a whole bunch of other ports. Now, the only ones I'm really using here are the USB-C port on the front, and I am connecting the Thunderbolt 2011 monitor via the one pass-through port on the back. And this is, to my mind, kind of interesting. I remember reading a while back, I think it was an Apple support forum thread, where someone was trying to get an Apple LED cinema display to connect to a M4 Mac Mini. And the consensus seemed to be in that thread that it was impossible. You couldn't do it. Well, guess what? You saw in the previous clip, it's working just fine. The easiest solution is, in fact, this dock, which has as one of its 14 ports that it adds a mini display port. So I just plugged in the mini display port connection from the computer. Bang, there it is. I've also got the pass-through for USB plugged in on the back of the same Thunderbolt 3 dock. And it's working really well. There is another way. Now, OWC does still sell this dock. It's on the pricey side, although it's a lot less than when it first came out. You can probably find them on eBay for substantially less than OWC sells them. But there is another solution. You would need two connection devices. One is a connector that will change the mini DisplayPort connection from the monitor to a full-size DisplayPort. You then need an adapter cable. Now, you can find HDMI adapter cables, DisplayPort HDMI adapter cables all over the place. Most of them won't work. As if you look carefully, you'll see that none of them are bidirectional. There are bidirectional cables made. Generally, they're to connect gaming devices to an older monitor. So you can get a cable that is designed to connect to an HDMI source, which the M4 Mac Mini does have, or there's HDMI on both of these two docks here. That would connect then to the adapter, and thus to the mini DisplayPort. But it has to be a cable that will connect a source from the computer, HDMI signal, and convert it to mini DisplayPort, and that will work. All right, I think we've seen most of it. Oh yes, there's one other thing I didn't talk about. There is another SSD enclosure here. There's an NVMe SSD connected to one of the Thunderbolt 4 ports on the back of the OWC here. The three drives we saw earlier, as I said, are all daisy chained together. They're all connected to that Thunderbolt 4 hub sitting on the top there. All right, so this is how we've connected a lot of these older legacy devices to this brand new machine. All right, we got a little bit more to do here, so please stay tuned. All right, so here we are now with a quick look at the M4 Mac Pro's desktop. We can take a quick look at about this Mac and see it is in fact Apple M4 Pro, 24 gigabytes of memory. And it doesn't say it specifically, but we do have a 512 gigabyte hard drive, or SSD actually. This is the base model of the M4 Pro Mac Mini, which of course is quite a bit more powerful than the base M4 Mac Mini. Okay, I don't think we need to go into that any further. All right. See the number of drives here? This is the Macintosh SSD that we've got in here. That's the built-in 512 gigabyte SSD. The SPS SSD, this is connected in the Treebleed Thunderbolt 5 SSD enclosure, and gives really fast speeds. Not exactly the same as the built-in SSD, but pretty close. We'll be seeing more of that in a future video. And the Thunder Bay Mini, the Thunder Bay 16 terabyte. Now these are both pretty slow. The Thunder Bay Mini with the 4 SSDs is roughly in the vicinity of USB 3.0 speeds, maybe not quite. The Thunder Bay 16 terabyte with its spinning hard drives is slower, but that doesn't matter. I had these drives, they're sitting around looking for a home, and I've been able to add here 24 terabytes of storage just by plugging those in. And this is deep storage. I don't need to access anything. I'm not going to be editing videos on these drives or anything even like that. But I can store things in there long term and be able to get them back very quickly. Now I also have that 11 SSD. That's the, I believe it's an Acasis SSD that's connected to the SSD enclosure that's connected to the OWC Thunderbolt hub. And then, of course, here we have our hard drive here. I'll do a little bit of this. All right. Blackmagic disk speed test. almost 4,000 on the right. This is the internal. Almost 5,000 on the read. That's obviously remarkably fast. All right. Now, just to get the comparison, we can see, first of all, the SP SSD, which is Thunderbolt 5 connected. And not quite as fast on the write, really fast on the read though. So, comparable within the two. You had almost 6,000 on the read and 3,400, 3,500 on the write. Very, very fast speeds. Okay. You continue with this. 11 SSD. Not quite 2,800 on the write, and not quite, a little over 2,600 on the read. Obviously, quite a bit slower, but it's still very, very fast for things that you might do. And just for giggles, might as well see what the Thunder Bays are doing. That's the Thunder Bay 16. Let's do the Thunder Bay Mini first. And you see not quite 350, excuse me, on the right. And it takes a long time to process it. But that's what it's holding into. For the purposes for which I'm using it, this is fine. Read is a little bit faster. Okay, I'm going to stop it because I didn't intend for this to be a particularly long video. And now finally, let's see what the Thunder Bay 16 tries to do. Remember, these are spinning hard drives on a Thunderbolt 2 connection. Yep. Trying to get up to 150. And we're going to have to wait our way through this. I don't remember exactly what the read speeds are. Of course, the purpose of the Blackmagic Disk Speed Test is not really to test the speeds, it's to see what kind of video formats are going to work with these particular drives, and you can see the report down here. Some of them will. Okay, and yeah, we're seeing comparable read speeds, slightly faster. Okay, but again, used just for deep storage and drives and enclosures that I had just lying around. Why not? We're in good shape there. Okay, I'm going to dive deeper into benchmarks. I just thought you might want to see what those speeds were, roughly. But I will dive deeper into benchmarks in a future video. I intend to do a comparison with the M1 Mac Mini, the M4 base model Mac Mini, and the M4 Pro that we have here. If you want to see how those three stack up, well, you'll have to check out that video, won't you? So what I think we're going to find, we're about done for today. It's just a quick overview. I hope you enjoyed it. Be good to other people. They need it and deserve it. Be good to yourselves. We can make this world a better place. We won't be able to unless we are good to ourselves. All right. What's coming up on the channel? Well, there's some more, believe it or not, M4 Pro and M4 Mac Mini content coming up. Got other things in mind, but until those things are available here in the channel, this has been Broken Electronics.